There is a strange and terrible paradox at the heart of our deepest desires. It's the idea that the very person who promises salvation might be the one holding the keys to our damnation, that the most beautiful cage is still a cage. We spend our lives taught to run from monsters, to seek the light, to trust in saviors. But what if the monster is the only one who sees you? What if the light is blinding and the savior is a lie? What happens when your only escape from a life you loathe is to run straight into the arms of the devil himself? Today, we explore a story that lives in that terrifying, exhilarating space between. This is the story of a girl who has everything and nothing all at once. Her name is Mila Mikhailova, and she lives in a gilded cage. From the outside, her life in Miami is a paradise of manicured lawns, Spanish colonial architecture, and opulent expectations. She is a socialite, poised and perfect, constrained by dire belts and pearl necklaces. But beneath this pristine facade is a soul suffocating. She feels like a ballerina in a music box, spinning in an exhausting and eternal pirouette for a father who is rarely there, a ghost who communicates through gifts chosen by a secretary, and texts that feel more like directives than expressions of love. This feeling, this deep, aching need for something more, has a name. The Germans call it Fernweh, an ache for a distant place. But for Mila, this isn't just a longing for a new location, it's a desperate yearning for a new reality, a life where she can finally breathe. And that is the core problem at the heart of Danielle Lori's The Darkest Temptation. It explores the profound, often painful, truth that the most oppressive prisons are not made of stone and steel, but of expectations, loveless futures, and the slow, quiet death of the self. Mila is on the verge of a traditional courtship, turning into a marriage proposal from Carter Kingston, a man who represents everything she loathes about her life. A union of old money and older obligations, a future of passionless social luncheons and pastel-colored cardigans. It is a life sentence she is about to accept. But on her 20th birthday, something snaps. The loneliness of celebrating without her father, the hollowness of a pre-selected gift, the impending doom of a life she does not want. It all converges into a single rebellious act. Mila decides to run, not just from a dinner party, but from her entire life. She flees to Moscow, the city of her birth, a place her father has forbidden her from ever visiting, in a desperate, naive search for answers about him, about her past, and about the mother she never knew. This is where the book makes its grand promise. Danielle Lori does not offer us a simple story of a girl finding freedom. She offers us a baptism by fire. The Darkest Temptation promises to throw its protagonist and us into the brutal, alluring, and morally ambiguous world of the Russian bratva. It promises to unravel the life Mila thought she knew, and replace it with a reality far more dangerous and far more real than she could have ever imagined. The book's grand promise is to show us what happens when a good girl, a girl who has been sheltered and shaped her entire life, is forced to confront the darkness. Not just in the world around her, but the latent darkness sleeping within her own soul. It is a promise of transformation, a journey to discover that sometimes, the only person who can truly set you free is the devil himself. Mila's journey begins not with a bang, but with a quiet, desperate escape in the dead of night. She leaves behind her pearl necklace, winds up the ballerina in her music box for one last, lonely pirouette, and tiptoes out of the gilded cage she once called home. Her arrival in Moscow is a shock to the system. The frigid air is a physical manifestation of the cold, hard reality she has just stepped into. Armed with a scrap of paper bearing an address and a fledgling sense of determination, she feels like Nancy Drew, only to find that this mystery is far deadlier than any she's read in books. She finds her mother's old home, a place her father has been paying the bills on for years, now occupied by a terrified, superstitious old couple. They look at her as if she's a ghost, a spitting image of her mother, Tayana. And here, Mila receives the first brutal truths of her life. Her mother was not just a beautiful woman who died young. She was an infamous opera singer, a woman described as a blessing and a curse. The old man warns her away, his words laced with a fear that is almost palpable. He speaks of a name, a danger that looms over the city diavel, the devil. He tells her some things are better left in the dark and pushes her out into the cold, slamming the door on her past and her future all at once. Completely lost, alone, and freezing, Mila wanders the darkening streets of a city that feels both alien and ancestral. And then, she feels it. A crawling sensation on the back of her neck. The feeling of being watched. She turns and sees him. A man, undoubtedly a man by his size and swagger, pulling on black driving gloves. A chill, entirely separate from the Russian winter, snakes down her spine. The word echoes in her mind. Diavel. She glances back again. He's closer now. A jagged scar slashes across his face. The last ray of sunlight glints on a silver knife in his hand. Her blood turns to ice. She drops her bag and runs. She runs for her life, for the back door of a building, praying it's unlocked. But she doesn't make it. A gloved hand wraps around her ponytail, and she's thrown to the pavement. Her head hits the concrete, and the world fractures into a kaleidoscope of pain and light. Through a haze, she sees the scarred face, the dark coat, the denim-clad legs straddling her. He rips her blouse down the middle. She fights, but her body won't work right. And just as she thinks this is the end, he stops. His attention is caught by the nautical star necklace resting between her breasts. He seems confused, almost afraid. It's the only opening she gets. She rakes her nails down the scar on his face, and he rears back, hissing, "You little bitch." Scrambling away, she stumbles to her feet and throws herself at the back door. It opens and she collides face first with a solid wall of a man. The impact knocks the last of the air from her lungs. She falls backward, but an arm wraps around her waist, steadying her. It is in this moment, in this smoky, dimly lit back room filled with rough-looking men that she looks up. And just before the darkness drags her under, she thinks he is handsome. Handsome in the way rough palms muffle screams, the way people bow to kings, and most of all, the way an angel falls from grace. When Mila awakens, it is to the face of the man she ran into. His name is Ronan, and he is her captor. But he is a captor unlike any she could have imagined. He is cool and calculated, dressed in an expensive black suit, his voice a low, accented rumble that is like vodka over ice. He is war-embodied, a royal flush in a den of iniquity, and he is, from the very first moment, utterly fascinated by her. He gives her a pet name, Moikadanok, my kitten. He has a doctor, Kirill, check on her concussion. He is concerned. He is gentle. And he is playing a game she does not understand. This begins the second stage of her journey, captivity, that feels dangerously like a courtship. Ronan does not lock her in a dungeon. He has his driver, the massive and grumpy Albert, take her to a swanky hotel. He provides for her, sending meals and clothes. And he watches her. Mila is an object of intense curiosity to him. He is intrigued by her innocence, her resilience, her strange blend of knave-eat and backbone. Their interactions are a high-stakes chess match, each word, each glance, a move and a countermove. He takes her to the opera, to a performance of the Queen of Spades. He buys her a fox fur coat when he learns she is vegan. He shares a $10,000 glass of vodka with her in their private box. He translates the Russian opera, his presence a warm, intoxicating force beside her. In these moments, the lines between kidnapper and suitor, prisoner and guest, become impossibly blurred. Mila finds herself drawn to this man, to his darkness, his power, his intelligence, and the surprising moments of empathy he reveals. The simmering tension between them finally ignites outside her hotel room door. Emboldened by vodka and a desperate need to feel something real, Mila kisses him. It is an unpracticed, off-center kiss, and Ronan's first reaction is amusement. But when she presses again, pulling him closer, something shifts. The amusement fades, replaced by a consuming heat. He kisses her back, a soft, whisper, light touch at first, as if she is too innocent to handle more. But Mila needs more. She gives him more, and he takes it, his control snapping. The kiss becomes a raw, desperate battle, a clash of wills and a surrender to a chemistry that is too powerful for either of them to deny. He presses her against the door, his body hard and demanding, and just as she thinks she will be consumed whole, he brings her to a stunning, shocking release with nothing but the pressure of his thigh. And then, just as quickly, he pulls back. Lust wars with something else in his eyes, something violent and conflicted, and he leaves her, trembling and breathless, with a simple command: go inside and lock the door. This single encounter changes everything. But the fragile, dangerous connection they've forged is shattered when the truth is finally unveiled. Ronan is not just a handsome, mysterious stranger. He is Diavel. He is the Pakan, the boss of the Russian Bratva. And his interest in Mila is not random. He is using her as a pawn in a vengeful war against her father, Alexei Mikhailov. The revelation is brutal. Ronan, the man who showed her a flicker of softness, who made her feel seen for the first time in her life, records an intimate moment between them and sends it to her father. The act is a cold, calculated move in his game, and for Mila, it is a betrayal that rips her world apart. She is no longer a guest, she is collateral. She learns that her father is not the simple investor she believed him to be. He is Ronan's rival in the criminal underworld. The secret family she suspected he had is real, but the truth is far darker. Her papa is not just an adulterer, he is a monster. Ronan shows her a photograph of a mutilated boy named Pasha, a boy her father had killed. The beautiful, controlled world Mila knew was a lie, built on a foundation of blood and secrets. And the most devastating secret of all concerns her mother. Tayana, the sainted opera singer, was not a victim of illness. She was a willing and sadistic participant in her father's crimes. As Ronan tells,